Welcome to our breakdown of the biggest semiconductor news for the first week of 2026. And wow, the new year is already kicking off with some absolutely massive stories that are really setting the tone for the whole industry. As we head into 2026, the entire industry is in the middle of this huge shift. We're calling it the Great Silicon Rebalance. And this isn't just about small little improvements. Nope. This is a fundamental power struggle, and it's all being driven by next-gen tech and a market that is just roaring towards that $1 trillion mark.
Okay, so let's dive into what's been happening this week. We really need to understand who is making the biggest moves on this. Well, this new battlefield. Honestly, the stakes have never been higher, and you can see every single player out there making some incredibly bold bets.
So first up, let's look at the big picture. This is the global chessboard, right? This is where geopolitics and these massive corporate deals are completely reshaping the landscape. What happens here lays the foundation for who's going to be dominant for the next decade.
The industry's most critical hub, Taiwan, got hit with a serious double whammy this week. On one side, you have escalating military drills from China that sent shockwaves all over. And then, on the other, a powerful 7.0 magnitude earthquake physically rocked the island, really testing the strength of the world's most advanced fabs and causing what could be billions in losses.
So, in response to all these global pressures, China is pushing super aggressively for self-reliance. They've just issued a new mandate that says at least half the equipment for any new factory capacity has to be homegrown. It's a really clear move to prop up their own domestic suppliers and, of course, depend less on foreign technology. Meanwhile, the US is tightening its grip on advanced tech. It looks like they're moving away from those big long-term waivers and instead shifting to a much stricter year-by-year licensing system for key allies like Samsung and SK Hynix that have factories in China. This just adds a whole new layer of uncertainty. It forces these companies to figure out how to operate in a much more complicated and frankly unpredictable world.
Now, over in the M&A world, we are seeing some truly wild moves. Just look at this. Nvidia made a jaw-dropping $20 billion play. And get this, they weren't even buying the whole company. No, this was just for the intellectual property and the engineering talent from Groq. It's an unmistakable signal that they're going all in to dominate the next big phase of AI, inference.
So, what on earth did Nvidia get for $20 billion? Well, they're betting the farm on Groq's language processing unit, the LPU. Think of it like this. If GPUs are the big heavy-lifting workhorses for training AI, then LPUs are the sleek racehorses for running it. They are built for one thing and one thing only: delivering those lightning-fast, real-time responses that make advanced chatbots actually feel like you're talking to a person.
And then, in a twist that has the entire industry buzzing, Nvidia is also investing a cool $5 billion in its longtime rival, Intel. For decades, these two have been the fiercest of competitors. And now they're forming this powerful alliance with one crystal-clear goal: to take on the undisputed king of chip manufacturing, TSMC.
And that incredible Nvidia-Intel team-up? Well, it leads us right into the heart of the action: the intense foundry war. This is where the race to the 2-nanometer node is seriously heating up. And believe me, it is an absolute showdown.
Right now, TSMC is just firing on all cylinders. They officially kicked off 2-nanometer mass production late last year, and from what we're hearing, not only are yields better than anyone expected, but their entire capacity is already completely sold out through all of 2026. And guess who snatched up almost half of it? Yep, Apple.
But hold on. Samsung is not taking this lying down. Not at all. They're making a super aggressive countermove right on US soil. They're pivoting their massive Texas plant to focus 100% on their competing 2-nanometer gate-all-around technology, or GAA. This new transistor design promises a huge leap forward, and Samsung is betting big that it can beat TSMC to the punch in the US market.
So, what we're seeing here are two completely different strategies playing out. You've got TSMC, which is keeping its most advanced, cutting-edge production in Taiwan first. And then you have Samsung, making this aggressive, all-in push to be the very first to market with 2-nanometer in the United States, and they're using huge deals with customers like Tesla to scale up incredibly fast.
Okay, let's switch gears and look at the memory sector. Because if that foundry race is a strategic game of chess, the memory market right now is an outright gold rush. The AI boom has created this absolutely unprecedented demand and a massive, massive supply crunch. Just look at these numbers, they're insane. The demand for memory is so out of control that prices are just skyrocketing. The specialized HBM3E memory is set to jump 20%. But get this, general DRAM contract prices? They're projected to rise by a staggering 50% just in this quarter alone.
So why is this happening? Well, it's because AI is expected to just eat up a fifth of all the DRAM wafers made this year. It's forcing giants like Samsung to plan a 50% surge in their HBM capacity, while SK Hynix is making what's being called an unprecedented gamble, spending a fortune on just a handful of critical machines just to try and keep up.
And, of course, seeing this huge opportunity in the supply crunch, China's biggest memory maker, CXMT, is getting ready for a multi-billion-dollar IPO. The goal is pretty clear: raise a ton of cash, expand production, and grab a bigger piece of this incredibly tight market. It's a smart move.
All this intense competition at the top, it's causing massive ripple effects everywhere else. The entire supply chain, I'm talking from software all the way down to consumer devices, is being forced to completely reorient itself around the insane demands of AI.
Back in China, that push for self-sufficiency we saw with equipment, it's also happening with the crucial software you need to design chips. Homegrown EDA firms like Univista, which, by the way, was founded by veterans from the top US players, are on the rise, and they're quickly heading for the public markets.
And you know, this one little detail really shows you where all of this is heading. After all this talk about fabs and nanometers and geopolitics, what's the end goal? It's about getting powerful AI into our hands. And the rumors suggest that OpenAI's very first consumer device could be something as simple and easy to use as a pen.
So, after that whirlwind tour of the week's news, what's the real takeaway here? I mean, with this incredibly busy start to the year, what does it all really mean for 2026?
Okay, if you want to boil the core story of 2026 down to just one thing, it's this: structural undersupply. It basically means that demand, which is just being overwhelmingly driven by AI, is way, way bigger than the supply of advanced chips. And that simple economic fact means that the chip makers who can actually produce these things have unbelievable pricing power. You see, this great rebalancing that's happening right now, it's just the beginning. It's really setting the stage for the next big shift, which is moving from training these gigantic AI models in the cloud to running much more power-efficient AI inference right on the devices we use every single day.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? As we sit here and watch this new map of semiconductor power get drawn right before our very eyes, who do you think is going to come out on top? Because the moves being made this year, they won't just decide who wins tomorrow, they're going to shape the entire future of technology.